Gaffer, it's a really tough place to come, not just because of how good a side Rotherham are, but it's a partisan atmosphere. Your side handled that brilliantly today.
Yeah, no, I think that I think we were very good at the start of the game. I think that it's always a tough place to come. The crowd get right behind them. They appeal everything. They get after you, which is a good home crowd does. And it's always a difficult place. So yeah, we're pleased with the win today.
You mentioned started well, dominated the early shots as well. Ryan Bowman's half volley, Matt Pennington header, looked like he had a sign that goals were coming. Yeah,
well, as I've said before, when we've spoke about whether we can score goals or we can't score goals, and it's easy to comment when you've had a few blanks. But at the end of the day, it's about creating the opportunities, and we feel as though we've been doing that. We feel as though we've been doing that for a long time, and maybe we're getting the rub of the green now, and they're just going in the back of the net as opposed to being saved or blocked or going wide.
The first goal, a great counter-attack, and a really sweet finish by Dan as well, bottom corner.
Yeah, I mean, we had possession of the ball, then we lost it, and then we nicked it back. So it probably was at a time in the game anyway where I felt as though we had, a good handle in the game. I thought we were in control of the game. Up to that point, so to get the goal when we got it was really, really good, and it was a great finish and a great build-up. A delayed pass into Dan Udo. We've taken their player out of the game with a pass, which is what we talk about all of the time, and we're really, really pleased.
On the red card, tactically, how does that change the game?
Has it changed the game? Well, obviously it gives you a numerical advantage. We know how difficult it is when you end up with 10 men. But at the end of the day, it's a sending off. We've had players sent off for less this season. So I thought the referee was brave to give it against the team top of the table, and like you say, a partisan crowd. So maybe that's the rub of the green that evens out over the period of the season that we haven't had. We haven't had it up till now, and today, even then. It's a sending off. I've just looked back at it, and it's a sending off. Maybe a few years ago, and back in my day, it might not have been, but unfortunately, it is now.
You said before this game that if we could perform like we did in the second half of the return fixture for 90 minutes, we'd be okay. And we did that. Second half, didn't let up, kept going. No,
it was important that we kept the tempo of the game high and kept the ball in play. That was the important thing, because, all of those. We knew that even if we kept the ball and we kept the ball along the back, it would eventually tire out their team. So sometimes when it looks like it's a bit negative because you think we're playing against 10 men, you've got to go forward all the time. Well, actually, the mistake you make when you play 10 men is you do go forward all the time, and then you get picked off on the counter-attack yourself. So staying in possession was important, and they weren't pressing us. So staying in possession and moving them side to side is fine because we're winning the game. Then what happens, the crowd get a little bit agitated, and they made them press us. And then for 3 or 4 minutes, we kept doing the same thing, and what we needed to learn from today's game was then it becomes a long ball game for us because you have to take the press off. So it's the only way you can take the press off, and we took the press off with one pass with Ethan, and we dropped it in behind their back line, and they had 3 players back against our 3, and we had a midfielder in Josh Vella sided in their half. So theoretically we had 4 against 3. And that's what you needed to do to take the press off. So once we got a grip of that, and there was a little stoppage in the game, so once we got a grip of that if they press us, on the first one it's okay and we can go back the other way. What you don't get normally at away games, and well, as you've said, there's a partisan crowd, you very rarely get 2 presses where you get a chance of playing out. So you might get a 2, and on the second one you've probably got to go forward, or you've got to make sure you break the lines. I thought we did that well.
Yeah. Is them having to sit back and not press, is that partly due to the red card? Do you think them having to stay in a formation to make it harder for you to pick them off initially?
Yeah, 100%, because but what I'm on about is the front lads have to drop off, because otherwise all they've got is Smith up front, because Coyote goes wide, so they've got 1 up against our 3. So we've got to make sure we take him side to side on the pitch, knowing full well that one of their wide lads are going to jump, but that's okay because it means their other lad on the other side comes narrow. So it means the change of play, then we go out and then we run forward with that centre back to take them off of their shape. Then we come back, and then when we go the other way we go in, but we've got to do that quickly. But yeah, because they're a pressing team, Rotherham, of course that changed their thinking. And it doesn't matter what the crowd say about running in and doing that. If they'd have run in and done that and gone hell for leather, well, what they would have done is they would have tired out a lot quicker than what they would have done. And they have to stay in. Supporters need to understand that. There was no point in them going off and chasing us willy-nilly and getting picked off. There was no point in them doing that. And it was right for them to do what they did. All they did was when they pressed us on 2 presses and won a throw-in. That's all it amounted to. So they done the right thing by doing what they did. We've done that before. Yeah. And they tactically they were right with that, to do that.
It was one of the times when I think they were pressing and we got it down this side. I think it was Penno released Benno down this side, and then you got a cross in, and then it was when Josh Vella went very close. We were having luck.
We had lots of chances, but you're gonna get that. But then it's understanding that part in the game today for us, because what's happened is the sending offs have been on the other foot. We're the ones who've had to do the Rotherham game today, so it was nice for it to fall right for us for once.
And a couple of other things that did fall right for us. The goals, first off, Elliot Bennett is a fairly simple finish, but it's his firstly goal of the season, and it's nothing more he deserved.
He had to concentrate hard, because I've seen them before go over the bar. Them when it hops up, he's had to make sure he concentrates. I could almost hear him thinking when he was tapping that one in. We joked about it before the game. That if any of our wing backs scored, we were going to perhaps get double points for it today, because they haven't scored enough goals this season really. But thankfully one of them has now anyway. So just a little bit of pressure on the other one now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's up for it. And then Ryan Bowman, third goal towards the end.
Yeah.
He had chances and he fully deserved his goal today. It's 3-3 now for him.
Yeah, no, I think he's in good form at the moment, Ryan. And as I said before, that goal, it just keeps them running, it keeps them moving, it keeps them confident. So we're delighted with that.
And then finally, we saw you clapping them at the end, but 426 travelling away fans. And a really great day for them as well.
I'm sorry. I was saying goodbye to Tom Flanagan because he's gone on international duty. Yeah. What was that last question?
426 travelling fans.
Brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. We were really, really pleased today. We've had a good following of late, and they showed plenty of noise up there, and it was great. Great day for them, and I'm sure they'll have a good journey on the way home.
Great. Thank you, Steph.
Okay, pleasure.